You're born beneath a ceiling painted to impersonate night, stars hammered in gold like nails pinning you to the sky. A priest lifts you as if you're a lantern and declares you Horus. Translation: Congratulations, infant. You're now the warranty on reality. If the Nile sulks, if the wheat sighs, if the sun forgets its cue, that's your fault. You don't get a childhood. You get choreography. At 3, your silhouette attends sunrise while your neck learns crown arithmetic. A servant who catches you when you trip disappears. Lesson delivered. Kings don't fall, even while falling. By 5, your tutor smells of papyrus and verdicts. He drills your 5 great names and the art of stillness, while a fly meditates on your eyelid. He teaches Ma'at as furniture to balance on your head. Truth, order, harmony, taxes. Your friends are men with ledgers, altars, and polished sandals who smile like locked doors. You eat like a shrine: bread, beer, duck, figs. Your teeth protest the grit sneaking in with stone-ground flour. By 12, you've perfected the divine grin that means everything hurts and nothing must. They pitch marriage as geometry. The gods wed their sisters, the gods made order, therefore you will marry yours. You sign the treaty of your bloodline with a ring and a silence. Coronation arrives with trumpets bullying the sky. The double crown clamps your skull. A cobra rises at your brow. Priests speak for you. Generals measure you. Sculptors decide the face you'll have forever. Publicly, you are a perfume that walks. Privately, a teenager with sore knees and a schedule. You train with bow, chariot, ceremonial gait. You learn that grace eats practice and pain, that failure is private and success a parade with hungry mouths. War arrives as dust on messengers and lines on maps. The vizier unfurls papyrus like wings and invites your finger to choose where suns become stories. You point. That is the job's truest verb. Battle smells of iron and fear. Wheels splinter, horses scream, heroism looks like survival. Later, walls display you enlarged, trampling enemies who obligingly crouch. They will not mention your shaking hands. Festivals own the calendar. Opet, you escort Amun by river while the city howls incense and joy. Feast of the Valley. You visit the necropolis, king among the dead, pretending the border is a boulevard. Daily offerings: purify, raise, pour, utter. The priesthood eats incense and produces certainty. You provide posture. A foreign princess arrives wrapped in treaty and perfume. In public, you are marble. In private, she misses snow. You have never seen snow. You admit you miss running without witnesses. For a heartbeat, empire looks like 2 humans astonishing each other. The palace's perfume, knives, corridors polished by secrets. A steward's ring glints too loud. A cupbearer's hand trembles on the wrong day. Your grandmother rules with an eyebrow. Someone receives a country estate. Someone else forgets how to wake. Balance is an altar with stains. Building is how kings breathe. You stamp your cartouche on pylons, the height of arrogance. Raise obelisks that stab sunlight. Widen courtyards for scenes your grandchildren will steal. You call it piety. Critics will call it graffiti with better tools. Eternity is a competition judged by stone. Your tomb begins the day your crown does. Dear El Medina hums. Artisans paint midnight manuals. 12 gates, 12 hours. Serpents with bureaucratic names. You walk the corridor as it lengthens and feel time cool around you, like water you can't drink. You approve more stars, more blue, more spells. You try not to think about how far they must dig before your body needs their work. The Nile arrives late. Fields lose their nerve. Granaries echo. Priests stretch processions and escalate adjectives for please. People look at you as if your gums hide water. You release stores, clear canals, pray with posture. When the river finally rises, it's sulky and insufficient. Half the city calls you merciful, half late, both right and useless. In the artist's village, bowls bang on temple doors. A strike. Painters of gods refusing to move their hands until bread and beer arrive. The vizier labels it a disturbance. You hear diagnosis. Sacred labor runs on human fuel. You send grain and extra beer. The men return to painting your victories. You consider how to thank them without admitting how terrified you are of being forgotten. Your son is born and trumpets try to peel the sky. The nurse hands you a furious miracle. You touch his brow with a finger that has signed exiles and patted temple dogs. You promise everything. You can deliver almost. A fever tries to steal him at 4. Priests ignite half the city and call the smoke prayer. Physicians prescribe honey, poppy, plaster, hope. You vow pylons and policy. The boy cools. He breathes. You sit on the floor and nobody orders you up. Later, contracts bloom around the vows you screamed at heaven. You pay them all. Court continues pretending life inside a rumor is normal. A minor wife conspires with a captain who forgets handsome isn't strategy. The tribunal writes its paper tragedies. The palace exhales. You keep a ledger of grief and a second ledger of what cannot be publicly forgiven. You keep getting older because even gods have cartilage. Knees announce weather. Your jaw draws lightning in your skull. The physician hands you a poppy sachet for nights when the sun won't listen. You promise moderation to a man who believes you. Some nights you keep it. Said festival, 30 years if the gods are generous. You practice the ritual run at dawn while the palace counts breaths. On the day, drums bully the horizon, and you circle courtyards like an oath with legs. You finish upright, then almost greet the floor in private. A priest politely studies the paving until your dignity returns. There are gentle days. The flood arrives right. Fishermen laugh like bells. Incense writes cursive on the wind. Your sister wife steals an hour on the roof and names constellations you can't legislate. Your son hits 3 targets in the marsh and tries to hide his trembling hands. You show him how to breathe like the bow. There are sharp days. A courier collapses with a boarder's bad news. A temple accountant invents subtraction. A cousin collects favors like jewelry until he becomes a chandelier you must dismantle. You smile anyway. Smiling is also tax. Sculptors thicken your jaw, straighten your back, repolish your youth. Their kindness in stone contradicts your mirror. You place your names everywhere because erasure scares you more than death. Priests will one day gather your bones with others into a secret room to save you from thieves. You will be safe and mislabeled, which is a kind of afterlife. Teaching your son is the one duty that feels like air. You show him how to read a room's weather, how to let silence have edges, how to choose which friend to lose when you can only save one, how to forgive publicly and remember privately, how to love a city that will love someone else the day after your burial. He nods like a prince rehearsing a mask. You want to gift him an ordinary afternoon. You cannot. You die on a day with meetings. Embalmers arrive with tenderness disguised as expertise. They liberate organs, anoint them, persuade you toward fragrance. They place a charm in your mouth so your silence won't embarrass the West. They wrap you in miles of linen and give your face a gold argument against forgetting. Priests murmur passwords. Your son practices being king and orphan without losing either. They slide you into painted midnight. Doors seal. Threats and blessings harden in plaster. Somewhere, centuries away, a thief learns your corridor. Somewhere else, a priest decides your safety requires hiding you with strangers. In time, your name survives on a wall, a statue base, a tourist's tongue. School children trace your cartouche with chalk-dirty fingers, and for a heartbeat, you exist again as delight. So why did it suck to be a pharaoh? Because your smile was public property and your pain a state secret. Because you married metaphysics and slept with strategy. Because you were embalmed in expectations long before linen. Because every victory bought with blood turned into a wall where someone demanded a larger sculpture. Because you were required to be the weather and the harvest and the lawsuit and the lullaby. It sucked because you were an idea made of meat. And yet, on a few mornings, the river became polished bronze and the city sounded like gratitude. For one breath, you believed the scales could balance if you stood very still and remembered the right names for dawn. Then the petitions began, the drums began, the rumors began, and you rose anyway, taller than fear, wearing a crown that bit and a face that never flinched, while the desert waited with patient teeth and the appetite of time.